I am Liam O'Mwainley and you're listening to the Ireland podcast.
Hello, welcome to the Ireland podcast. This is Fender Jackson. The time is 3:38 on Wednesday, the 19th of August 2026. I am in my home in Galway and we are going inside the song. We lost Glen Hansard last month and it was a profoundly shocking and saddening experience for people right across the globe. People are writing a lot from North America saying how much they loved his music, and the musicians in Ireland are just reeling. We always expected Glen to be there. He was like a evergreen person. He was most prevalent in the Simon Community Busk in Grafton Street every Christmas. You could hear him playing songs and pulling in the stars like Bono and Shabsy and all these other fantastic musicians, and raising awareness. But to have lost him so suddenly, yeah, it's just like a bolt out of the blue. What about him? He was born in 1970, grew up in Ballymun, which is North Inner City Dublin, same place actually as Bono, Gavin Friday, Googie, which is a coincidence, or is it? Because it's one of those tough areas, and in many respects, many people have to sink or swim. And if you have the grit and determination, then you can really have a big fire inside of you. It's been widely documented that Glen was a bit of a crazy teenager, it'd be fair to say, stealing cars and the like. And his principal of his school cut him a deal. The principal saw that Glen had this passion for music, and he said to Glen, I'll let you go out early from school if you go busking and try and do something with it. And as long as you report back to me. So that was it. He did, and that's how he really started in music, as a busker. And that busking part of his identity stayed with him right through to the end. If you look at what he was doing just hours before he passed, where was he? He wasn't on stage. He was in an Irish music session, playing his heart out. And that tells you that the man was not driven by fame or money, but more so by the music. And that's commendable. He first landed on many people's radar in 1991 through a movie called The Commitments, directed by Alan Parker. Fantastic movie, check it out. About a band trying to make it big as a soul band from North Dublin. Yeah, really good. And then he had this band, The Frames. And I saw The Frames around 91, 92. So it was their first album, Another Love Song it was called. And the lead single was Picture of Love. Great song. So I saw them in the Mandela Hall in Queen's University in Belfast. I was mesmerized. Here was a cool rock band with a hot chick and a violin player. So it was very alarming for a young man such as myself to have seen this. The songs were fantastic. The energy, of course, was phenomenal. And with the violin, very clever arrangement. Just, yeah, excellent gig. Glen played a lot of music since then, and then the Frames grew and grew. Glen did loads of collaborations, including with Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam. Eddie Vedder sang at Glen's funeral and also the celebration afterwards. He flew all the way over, as well as Jake Clemons. I had a lovely chat with Jake. He was explaining to me that he's played in two bands. Number one was with Glen Hansard, and number two is with Bruce Springsteen. And he was playing with Glen, and he said he was offered this position because his uncle passed away, Clarence Clemons, and he didn't know whether to go for it or not. And it was Glen that pushed him out of his own band and towards Bruce Springsteen. What can you say about that? Not a lot. Who would have done that? That's phenomenal. Just the magnanimousness of sacrificing his own saxophone player, who's evidently amazing. The first thing I said to Jake, by the way, was, "You like John Coltrane?" He came on stage during the celebration and he was just ripping it up like a young John Coltrane. We had a lovely conversation about music and influences and all the rest, and he was explaining that whenever he heard the news, he had to jump on a plane and come to Ireland and be present for the funeral of his late great friend. So in 2006, Markéta and Glen recorded the song Falling Slowly for the movie Once, which was directed by ex-Frames bass player John Carney. The song itself was actually recorded also by the Frames, and that version is also fantastic. But I'm going to be looking at the Swell Seasons version. That is the band which was Markéta and Glen. Why is this song so special? It's because it's, on the face of it, a simple song, but it reminds me of Hans Zimmer music in some way, in that they're just simple lines, but whenever you put simple lines on top of other simple lines, this huge complexity happens. So it's not like a very flash song, it's stripped down to its basics. Let's look at the first few chords. First two chords, C, F, C, F. Except it's no regular F. There's F, but if you take off the middle finger, it's now what you call a suspended chord. And what that means is that it's got no third. So a chord is usually, a lot of the time, made up of the first note, the third note, and the fifth note of a scale. And if you don't play the third note, then it could be major or it could be minor. I'm going to get a bit technical here, but bear with me and just listen to the notes themselves. There's F, there's F suspended second. And what does suspended mean? Where does it come from? It comes from, as we all remember from our Latin classes at school, suspendere, which means to hang across or to interrupt. And it is interrupting your expectation. The word suspense actually comes from suspendere. So there is automatically, even by its definition, suspense built into it. What about the melody whenever it starts? Well, let's listen to the song itself actually. Simple. The guitar is actually mimicking the melody or playing the melody. I love that, by the way. Just at the end of that phrase, that opening phrase, they're going. He's not going. He's going down. High note, low note. Falling slowly already. Subtle things like that make this song absolutely amazing. Then we have the verse. So let's go into the verse.
I don't know you, but I want you all the more for that.
what does it sound like? To me, it sounds like. Frère Jacques. It's almost like a nursery rhyme, so simple. And how is he delivering it? He's delivering it in a conversational way, like Lou Reed or Bob Dylan. I know he's hugely influenced by Bob Dylan, and we'll get on to that in a second. I saw this interview where he was explaining about how the song was born out of a situation where he was at a party, and he saw this beautiful lady across the room, and he had this sudden awakening that this lady actually was his girlfriend. So it's almost like an internal dialogue, he said. I love that. That it's internal dialogue, it's him talking, pondering about his life at that moment. Yeah. So, conversational.
I don't know you, but I want you all the more for that.
For that. Just throws it away. It's all on the beat. He just throws it away. And the other cool thing about this, for me, is that the melody structure is the same. It's exactly the same both times. C, D, E, D, C, D, F, E, C, D, E, D, C. But it's a chord underneath that changes. So first we got C, F suspended second. And because the melody is the same, it sounds like it's simple, but because you're playing F suspended second, it's got a whole new level of complexity happening. This song appears in the movie once, as they are playing in the Walton's music store. In terms of how this song is appearing in the movie, the song's a musical, and many people have problems with musicals, and it's mostly around the lack of realism. Oh, it's a wonderful day. Oh, is it really? And then the whole chorus line joins in, it's a fantastic day. Yeah, okay, calm it there, boy. So the realism of this scene is fantastic. Let me tell you about it. He's got this pad, he's got the lyrics written out, he places it in front of Markéta. She's looking at the lyrics and the chords. He's teaching her on the guitar, and she is picking up on it, playing along. And if you look at the two of them, she is at a grand piano, dressed beautifully, but very plainly, very pristine. Just a beautiful young lady who looks like she plays the grand piano. Then you have Glen, who looks like a busker. He's got a bashed up guitar, much the same as Willie Nelson's guitar, big holes in it. Anybody who's got a big hole here in the guitar, you can tell they've been working it hard. Glen's also dressed like a busker. So even before the first note is played, there's this juxtaposition of styles that you look at and go, that's kind of opposite. Opposite genders, opposite countries within Europe, the Czech Republic, and clothes, ginger, dark-haired people, just very opposite. So that's even before the first note is played. Whenever he starts singing, she comes in halfway through verse 2. And what does she do? She harmonizes with him. As a musician, I found this totally believable. Let me tell you a story. I was in China, missing home. Been there during the pandemic, couldn't get home. My friend and I, Sean Og, we started up this Irish music session. I invited these ladies from the local orchestra, and they were classically trained. They were able to sight read our scores, which we'd printed out, playing Irish trad music. Further, more than that, they started harmonizing just by playing the third above what was written on the score. Sounded brilliant. Still one of the best sessions I ever played, if not the best, was that first session. What does it sound like a third? So you got the melody and you got the harmony. And that's what she's singing here.
Words fall through me and always fool me, and I can't react.
Oh, the tenderness of her. He's singing in his speaking voice. It's called your chest voice or your speaking voice. Who sings in that voice? Nick Cave does a lot. Johnny Cash. I find it very, very easy to be true. Chest voice. He's singing in his chest voice. I don't know you, but I want you all the more for that. She is singing, as I say, higher. So she is harmonizing with him. If you think about her line being here, he's underneath her. So he is taking the main vocal. So she's sitting back already in that first harmony.
Words fall through me and always fool me.
You hear the tenderness of her.
Can't react.
She breaks there, doesn't she?
And I can't react.
Can't. Hear the word can't?
Can't react.
Oh, brilliant. And then
Can't react.
you almost don't hear her say react because she doesn't want to upstage him. And so if we move to the pre-chorus, she's dropped out. And the significance of that is because the pre-chorus, as the name suggests, comes before the chorus. So you want to be as little as possible. So whenever the chorus kicks in and it's bigger, the contrast is greater. Think about the Pixies, Tame, for example. That song makes me laugh so much, where it's just drum and bass and vocal in the verse, and then the guitars kick in for the chorus.
Games that never amount to more than they're meant will play themselves out.
Do you hear the piano there? It's so simple and so sparse.
Games that never amount to more than they're meant will play themselves out.
F suspended second. I'm going to play this now so you'll hear the F suspended second and what it does with just me playing. Games that never amount to more than they're meant will play themselves out. To hear the tension building there from losing that middle finger, that third, the suspended second, the drama just rises and rises. Then we have the chorus. Of course, bear in mind, Markéta wasn't singing in the pre-chorus. So whenever she comes in and plays after a suspended second, the C by itself is in its full glory.
Take this sinking boat.
Also, now, not only has Glen jumped up an octave, he was singing there before, he's now singing up here. And Markéta has jumped with him on the piano. That voice that Glen is using, that's called the shouting voice. It's got different names to it. The shouting voice is what I use. Bon Jovi, he sings a lot in the shouting voice. So he is now jumped up here. Markéta is still in the same area. So you got the harmony happening, but instead of Glen being here, he's now up here. So she's now supporting him from under, whereas before she was supporting him from above. You'll hear.
Take this sinking boat and port it home. We've still got
This note. He's playing F suspended second. And he's singing B. That's an audacious move. That's the chord there, actually. So it's, what is it? It's F, G, B, and F again if you want. He goes to A then. I'm smiling. Why am I smiling? Because Markéta, instead of in the verse where she was singing this part, let's go back there.
words fall through me and always fool me.
If you look at the verse, where does she go? She goes, for fool me, the lyrics fool me, she goes A, G.
Words fall through me and always fool me. And I
But in the chorus, where is she going? You would have thought she'd go higher, but she doesn't. She goes lower.
take this sinking boat and port it home. We've still got time.
She goes G and F. And it sounds so much higher because he's going to B and A. What's it sound like together?
Take this sinking boat and port it home. We've still got time.
Okay, so that, back to that chord. It's basically this, isn't it? Whew. I could listen to that all day. It's amazing. And do you know what the other thing about it is? It's not minor. It sounds minor. Basically, that B and an F, it's a flattened fifth. So it's got this very, almost like a diminished quality, because diminished chords are flattened fifths. But it's not a diminished chord. It's the actual name of the chord is F suspended second sharpened 11th. And then F add 9. Oh, it's really cool. And whenever I was doing the analysis of this song, I was listening to that part and I was thinking, what is that? I know that chord, I know it. And it came to me eventually. Górecki's third Symphony of Sorrowful Songs, the second movement, really worth checking out. It's also used in this one. There's a composer called Angelo Badalamenti, and he has done loads of work with David Lynch. There's a song that he's written called Falling, ironically, and Julie Cruz sings it, and you probably know it. Don't let yourself get hurt this time. Don't let yourself get hurt this time. Then I saw your face. That chord there. That's got the sharpened 11th as well. It's an F. Well, I don't know what key the original is in, but I sing it in this key. F with a B, flattened fifth. But he does suspended second as well. Absolutely phenomenal. So where were we?
Take this sinking boat and port it home. We've still got time. Raise your
The other thing about this part of the chorus, he's no longer using his middle voice. He's now using his falsetto voice. What's your falsetto voice? It's your Mickey Mouse voice. Pluto! Michael Jackson voice, whatever you want to call it. How? See if I can climb up there. Time! It's hard to hit. Depends on your range, of course. I think I have a similar range to him because for me, whenever I sing all the parts, I kind of feel like I'm in a similar sort of area as him. You know, we are musical instruments. And just the same way as a violin is different to a double bass, its lowest note is different to that of that instrument. Same as singers. So whenever he goes to that B, I can go there, but it's a lot of work. And if you look at these videos that have been posted on the internet of them singing this song, he's always on it. He's always landing on that note. And it's a big jump. He's jumping up to the major seventh. Not quite the octave. No. There, but it's still a huge jump. So to do that on live TV again and again and again, you know, you look at the live versions that he's doing on the internet and he's always on it. It shows you this guy has worked hard on his singing. And, you know, where does nervousness come from? It comes from not knowing what you're doing or else not having had the experience. He's got the experience, but knowing what you're going to do, that comes from putting in the work. The harder you work, the less nervous you get in this game, mostly.
raise your hopeful voice.
He's always playing the suspended second.
A choice.
A minor.
Make it
Oh, I love that. To hear how big it was a moment ago, and then this bar here. It's just a whisper of a guitar for the end of it. Okay, and then back into verse 2 now, and straight away they're picking up like the second half of verse 1, where they're singing together harmony and melody.
falling slowly. Eyes that know
That arpeggio on the piano,
and I can't go back. And moves that take me out.
okay. Then again for the pre-chorus, she drops out, he's singing by himself.
You have suffered it.
I love that piano dissension.
You have suffered enough and warred with yourself. It's
Again, to hear that now, wow. That violin coming in there. What is that note? You guessed it. It's B. So listen to where that comes in. It starts off.
take this
then the cello comes in there. So it's strange that he plays this live, and he holds on to that a lot of the time. But on the Late Late Show version, they are playing it, and then he drops his index finger. That B note comes in. I love it. Phenomenal. Then, yeah, chorus 2. With string quartet. You hear the cello and the viola, violins, and they're going. So he's singing B, Markéta's singing G, F, and then the violin's going D. Wow. So what are those chords? Oh, so that's basically F with a B and a G and a D, F with a B, B and a G and a D. So that's F6, 9 with a flattened fifth. Yeah, as you would expect. Class. Hear the cello. The cello is almost becoming like a third person singing at that point. Then the electric bass comes in here. And this is an extra part to the chorus, so this didn't happen in the first part. I'm calling this part now, where we are, the bridge, because it's, well, let's just see where it goes. Violin takes over on the melody. And yeah, it's funny as well doing the analysis of this song. I went on to live versions, and on live versions he's going here a lot. And he and I are of a similar vintage, and I laughed a little bit whenever I heard this, because I know it's the same as the pre-chorus, but here I hear it more clearly. It's basically all along the Watchtower. Should I be surprised? Well, the Frame supported Bob Dylan, and then later on, Bob Dylan, I believe, heard this song and loved it so much that he asked them to join him as their support act, as his support act on the world tour. I wonder, is it because he heard his own song in there? I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Oh, but whenever they do it live on the different versions, it's almost like every version is different. And I love that they never settled on the definitive version. They always changed it. I wonder how complicated it was to relearn a new version every time. And as an audience member, it must be fantastic to think that we're getting something that's never been played before and never is going to be repeated. Such is the feeling that I'm getting from watching them perform this, because it seems to differ every time. And you hear the piano here just gently, it's almost like dripping, falling down, falling slowly down, like a valley or something. Goes up again. Strings are just holding it. This chord. That's a suspended second again. really hear the bowing there of the string quartet. Or maybe it's the bass. It's the fret buzz of the bass. But you hear the bowing as well, of course. And then as it opened, what a song! What a song! So it won an Oscar. And it's fantastic, you know, that Glen, a guy from Ballymun, inner city Dublin, was able to go to the Oscars along with Markéta, and both of them make a speech. And at the end of the evening, it was Daniel Day-Lewis who latched onto them because, why? Well, I don't know why that happened. I'd love to ask Daniel that question. I'd love to interview Daniel Day-Lewis. And that says to me how much of the everyman that Glen is, that he could hang out with homeless people, the unhoused people, and have conversations with them, but then also have the likes of Daniel Day-Lewis being attracted to him. Bono said at Glen's funeral that he had over 130,000 best friends. Who does that, and how can you do it? You can do it because you have that humanity within you. You're present in every conversation. I met him once for 30 seconds, and I got a sense of that, you know, even though it was so short. So it's sad that he's gone. It's so sad. And I mean, aren't we just thankful and lucky and blessed that we have this treasure trove of music? I haven't heard all of his music, and I will enjoy going through it more so now. And it's just sad that he's no longer here with us and producing more classics. I'm still sad that Bowie's dead. And also, I'm still sad that John Lennon's dead. I was 7 whenever he died. Then Elvis, I was 4. But I remember this profound sadness that I felt to hear that Elvis is gone. And I still carry it. I carry it because it's like all that wonderful music that I'm not hearing. And Glen's in that category now for me. And I suspect he'll be there forever. I'll be thinking, what a great loss it is that he's left us so soon. But that's the way it goes for some of us. And as I say, I'm just grateful that we still have a lot of music that he's left for us. This is the 3rd episode that I've recorded celebrating Glen. The first one was his public wake, where I recorded some conversations with his close friends, a lot of them childhood friends, and then the funeral afterwards, where I got some conversations going with people who sang with him and played a lot of music with him. Now I'm doing this one. And I said in my conversation with Conor Masterson, who did the artwork who did the photographs for those 3 episodes, thank you, Conor, that I had been thinking about recording a song analysis of this song. The other contender was Dreams by the Cranberries. And I'm so glad to have done this. I will be doing more. And I want you to know that this was number 1 or number 2 on the list anyway, so I'm just rushing it out now because I've been focusing on it for the last week, trying to get my head more and more into the song. I will be doing more, as I say, including, if you can guess what that is. So if you think that you might enjoy this, please feel free to subscribe to the Ireland podcast, and if you want to share it with family and friends, you're very welcome to do so. I hopefully have brought you some insight into this fantastic piece of music. And until next time, go to Míle Maith Agaibh, agus slán go fóill.
Thank you for listening. If you know someone who might value this conversation, please feel free to pass it on. The Ireland podcast is intended as a record of long-form conversations like this, and if you would like to support the continuation of the work, there is a link in the notes. Take care.